Hey, how you doing? It's Brett. Thanks again for coming to the open house. I think I mentioned to you that being a metrics-driven guy, as much as I am a relational person, I keep a 10-year market history of all of the markets within which I serve clients. And so I pulled fresh data for Vienna Woods, and I'm sending it on to you so that you can confidently make a great decision. Okay. So if you click the link below, it will have you can get the PDF version, which will include some explanation slides to it so that you don't have to kind of scratch your head on it. Okay. So let's get to the slides here. All right. So in short, what you're going to be looking at here is, there we go, median sales price. So this is 10 years of data right down here. You can see that. Median sales price, I want you to look at the appreciation curve, and I want you to look at this little tail off here. So really what you're seeing is in effect, two sets of data. This bottom part of the curve right here, where you see this densely packed set of data points, and then this top part where you see all these upper data points. This is the new construction. This is the conventional original buildings that are there. So these guys up here started as a purchase down here, and then they got the tear down and build, and they sold way up here. Okay, so this trailing in the Vienna Woods market is not indicative of a problem with the market. This is a very unique market. Anytime a neighborhood is in the process of being rebuilt and regenerated and modernized, you see the same kind of competing two different data sets, right? So what happens is, if you don't have a lot of new home sales, then the existing home sales right down here, that takes over when you're looking at the median data. Okay, so that's what's happening with median sales prices. You can still see right here on the original properties, it's still got a solid appreciation curve, and the data in the last year or so continues that appreciation curve. It's just the new home sales that have trailed off a little bit, which for a buyer is a great thing. Okay, so another thing to look at is median sales price per square foot. So this tells us if there's anything in there that's biasing the data, and I know I sounded like a bit of a nerd, and excuse me. And for those fellow nerds out there, hey, how you doing? Okay, so basically this just tells us if there's any outliers that are influencing the data and telling us lies in the data, right? So you see the same basic kind of appreciation curve here, this trend line with the trailing off right here where the new home sales have kind of fallen off in the last few months, and it basically says that we've got good data. So that's a good thing. Number of active listings. So there's not a lot of inventory on the market right now, and it's not expected to get tremendously better. But if you look right here, basically you can expect somewhere between about 17 to 23 active listings in any given month. Now, this is all single family detached in all of Vienna Woods. I know we've been talking about new home construction, so that's going to be a smaller set of data within this. But on the whole, about 17 to 23, give or take, 20 plus or minus 3 active listings in any given month. And that's not new listings, that's currently active. So anything that hasn't sold and is kind of carrying forward, that'll also be part of that. All right. Median days on market. What this chart is telling you right here, and if I can move my face, I can. So right here at the 50 days, that what that's telling you is this is days on market from the word go until closing. So you're talking about under 50 days. So nominally, it takes about 30 days to go through escrow, which means that properties are on the market less than 3 weeks. In the spring, I'm sure you've already noticed this, properties are on the market under 14 days, a lot of times under 10 days for the really strong ones. This data up here at the top, that's all the way off the charts. What's going on there is new construction listings. So when a builder buys a property, tears it down and builds a new construction, he lists it right away trying to find a buyer if he's speccing it out. So what that means is that it's listed from the day he buys the land all the way until he actually closes. A lot of times it takes 6 months to build a house, and they don't sell it until afterwards. And that's what happens right here. You get these new home sales that have been specced out, and they've been on the market while they've been being built, and they stay on the market after they're done for a little while, and then they finally close. So that's what's happening with those huge monster peaks right there, okay? Also, all right, next one, contract ratio. So the next two slides are going to basically tell you what the market is doing. Is it favorable to you, favorable to the other side of the table? So what you're seeing here is contract ratio. So this is kind of basically looking at it through the lens of a seller, right? So how many contracts as compared to how many active listings. And what you see is, generally speaking, 0.5 is your break mark for contract ratio. Anything above 0.5 is considered a seller's market. Anything below 0.5 is considered a buyer's market. And what you're seeing here is you're positioned pretty well. You're in a solid buyer's market for about the last year. It's got these excursions right up here where the advantage goes to the seller. And recently it looks like it's trending in that direction. But historically, Vienna Woods is a good buyer's market. Now, let's take a look at months of supply. So this is kind of looking at it through the other side of the lens. This is if no other listings came on the market as of today, how long would it take to burn through the current listings on the market? So in effect, 4 to 6 months of months of supply is considered a balanced market. Okay, a buyer's market has more than 6 months, and a seller's market has less than 6 months. And what you see is a little more fidelity to the contract ratio, which was a kind of a blunt measure. So this has shown you that it's kind of on the bottom, on the buyer's side on the seller's side of the months of supply here, right? And even breaking into being a full seller's market here. So it's not unusual to see competing metrics in a market. So this is your sales price. So sales price to the original list price, right? So there's negotiation, list price is X, we offer Y, and then we come to the middle someplace where people are willing to agree to meet, and that's where your final sales price is. So not all properties sell at the original list price. And what you're seeing here in the last, right here, in the last couple of years, is that buyers have been getting a little more advantage. They've been getting a little better negotiating position. Now, I want you to also kind of track with me, right? Let's go straight across here, all the way to the side. Let's get this out of the way. 98%, right? So don't think about this like you're going to get some kind of crazy 20% bargain basement discount. What we're seeing here is that 2% is about what the market is given back to the buyers, all right? So that doesn't mean that the house you're going to make an offer on is going to be 2% less than the list price, but it does tell you that that's what the market is doing on a whole, okay? So let's take a look at the next one here. Seller success rate. Not every house that gets listed gets sold, right? And what you can see is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 to 15 houses that go on the market don't sell. So that can be a lot of reasons. It can be that it was overpriced. It can be that the seller had unrealistic expectations. It could be that the buyers didn't want to pay what it was worth, even though there was an appraisal done. Okay, so there's a lot of different reasons why a house would not sell. Condition is another one. There's a lot of as-is listings out there that are in pretty tough condition, and if you don't know what to look for, you can get yourself into a bind in that situation. Okay, so in short, that's what we're looking at. A little bit from me. If you want some more information, just let me know. I'm happy to provide that kind of analysis for any other markets that you might be thinking about. Okay, have a great day. I'm sorry it's so late sending this out, but I was kind of busy today. My son was home from college. Our son, my wife's going to give me a hard time when she sees this video, was home from college for spring break, so we got to hang out for the first time in a long time. So I got to this a little late today, but I hope you had a great Monday, and I look forward to hearing back from you soon. Bye-bye.